everyone, welcome back to BS Rambles. As usual, I get straight into what you came here for, which is my 3 picks for heroes that are secretly overpowered, but for whatever reason, completely are underutilized. These opinions are my own, and if you disagree, I do encourage you to post in the comments so that we can further the discussion. I'll jump right in with number 3, which is Sommore. When Sommore first came out in Heroes of the Storm, he was game-breakingly strong. He could dish out insane damage, and his mirror image ability was so confusing for players that he rocketed up to insane win rates, as well as achieving pick or ban status. Since then, he's been reworked, nerfed, buffed, and jostled around into the Sommore that we now have in the game. But one thing never changed. He's still insanely strong. Sommore's power comes from the fact that he is insanely hard to kill. Shifting between his mirror images makes him near impossible to pinpoint and focus down. Coupled with his being able to go invisible makes him one of the shiftiest heroes in the entire game. A good Sommore knows how to maneuver using these mechanics and will take advantage by pressing map objectives in a way that only Sommore can. He can take enemy merc camps deep in their territory at times when it would be far too risky for any other hero in the game to do the same. This means that a good Sommore can create oppressive map control that will have his team fighting with the advantage for the entirety of the game. What is really crazy is that Sommore's teamfight potential is extremely good as well, providing melee physical damage that is on par with any other assassin. There is only one drawback to Sommore, which is the reason that he is no longer pick or ban in the current Hero League meta, and that is that Sommore is insanely hard to play. He has one of the highest skill caps in the entire game. So if you want to be overpowered with Sommore, you had better be good at the game and be willing to put in some time playing with him to master his difficult mechanics. But if you do that, you will be on the fast track to carrying games. And that brings us to number 2, which is anub'arak. Anub'arak has had his time in and out of the meta, going from being pick or ban status down to being completely irrelevant. At the time that I'm making this video, I would place his current role in the meta as being closer to irrelevant, but it is important to ask why that is. He hasn't been nerfed into being irrelevant, so what has happened is that he has simply fallen out of favor. He's currently my number 2 pick for closet OP heroes for all of the same reasons that he used to be well known as a hero that needed to be picked or banned, and that is because of the amount of control that he brings into teamfights. Anub'arak is an insanely strong counter to any skill shot based caster assassins for a few reasons. Any one of them would make him a powerful anti-mage, but when they're all put together you have a hero that is ridiculously oppressive on the enemy backline in teamfights. His scarabs that spawn off his basic attacks serve as an ever-present skill shot blocker which can render casters like Li Ming and Nova completely useless. He has a dive ability that ends in a knock-up for a way to engage the backline, and a knock-up stun to prevent any escape that follows his dive. But the ability that makes him insanely strong, the ability that used to define him as the number 1 tank in the game, is his cocoon. A point-and-click CC that will either last its insanely long full duration, or force the enemy team to focus fire to break it. A good anub'arak will dive the enemy backline, cocoon the second highest priority target, usually the healer, and focus fire down an enemy assassin, leaving your team to win the 4v3 that you just created for them. Going back to why anub'arak has fallen out of the meta and has landed on my secret OP list, is the difficulty involved in this playstyle. There are 2 major pitfalls that about 95% of anub'arak players fall into. The first is bad engages. When you have a long-range dive like anub'arak does, it falls to you to pick the right engages. Failing to do that results in a lot of unnecessary deaths, poorly timed teamfights, and even straight-up suicides. The second reason is that choosing the right target to cocoon is no easy task. You want to CC a high-priority target, but killing a high-priority target is more important than CCing it. So many anub'arak players will cocoon a target simply because they are a high priority target that is in their range, and a lot of the time, that target is the one that was available for the team to kill. This is so much worse than bad. It's terrible and it throws entire team fights. When you make this mistake, you effectively turn one of the best teamfight ults in the game into a stasis ability for the enemy hero, which will throw the entire teamfight through a loop and typically result in a lost fight. So in summary, anub'arak has an insanely strong kit that makes him a perfect secondary tank capable of creating advantageous teamfights and rendering enemy casters useless. However, he requires extremely good decision making or he can be a complete liability. And here we are at my number 1 pick. Thank you for sticking around with this video so far. Hopefully you won't be disappointed because my number 1 pick is sure to be nothing short of controversial. A hero that is so secretly overpowered that she is widely regarded as being trash garbage. And that is Tyrande. Tyrande has been in the game for a long time and has never been considered a top pick, and as I mentioned, is currently considered by most to be a trash hero. Hopefully you find this to be a unique take on a long-standing cast member of the Nexus. Tyrande has long confused the player base due to her neither fitting into a team comp as a main healer or a ranged assassin. She is considered to not be able to do either role well and is best just left on the sideline. The meta build with her is to put everything into her owl talents, which is where I think everything has gone wrong. I think this is a stupid talent path to pursue, and instead recommend going full auto attack burst build. Using this build, by level 20, Tyrande has the ability to be a highly impactful ranged burst assassin with the ability to 100 to 0 squish your heroes. At this point, her high attack speed also makes her a powerful healer, giving both her and her teammates a massive boost in survivability that other ranged auto attack damage assassins cannot come close to. To be effective with Tyrande, pick her when your team needs a ranged damage dealer as well as a boost to its survivability. Her perfect team comp consists of a healer, 2 high damage melee frontliners such as Diablo and Sonya, and a reliable ranged mage such as Gul'dan. Tyrande is my #1 pick for being secretly OP because nobody respects how powerful she can be when using the correct build with the correct team comp around her. She can turn from less than half a healer and less than half a DPS into a full-on burst auto attack assassin capable of main healer healing numbers. And that does it for the list, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. I did have fun making this video, so I'll be doing more like it soon. And if you did enjoy it, please do the YouTube like, comment, subscribe. I would really love to hit 1,000 subs so I can at least be a monetized channel. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and have a fantastic week.